As Hollywood gets ready to honor its best at the Academy Awards this weekend, there are still unanswered questions about the death of two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman and his wife.
Suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. When two Santa Fe County Patrol deputies arrived at the scene, they walked to the front of the residence.
Of their bodies, it appears they had been dead for some time. They were found in different rooms. Hackman was found near the kitchen, while his wife, Betsy, a classical pianist, was found in a bathroom. Their dog was also found dead.
Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found dead in their Santa Fe home under suspicious circumstances. No signs of foul play or carbon monoxide poisoning, yet their bodies were badly decomposed, and one dog was mysteriously dead in a closet. How did they die so suddenly? Why were two dogs alive while one perished? Their daughter suspects something sinister, but officials found no evidence. What really happened in that house? The unanswered questions make this tragedy deeply unsettling.
No, I wouldn't say that at all. And in fact, I'll tell you, from law enforcement, we really hesitate on saying anything like that, especially when it is in the purview of the medical examiner.
So what else will they be having trouble with in creating a timeline? I know they have the last events on his Pacemaker being, I believe it was February 17th.
The legendary actor, known for films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, was found dead in his Santa Fe, New Mexico home on February 26, 2025, under mysterious circumstances. His wife was also discovered lifeless, along with one of their three dogs. The unsettling discovery was made by a maintenance worker who arrived at the house and immediately contacted emergency services upon encountering the grim scene. Authorities quickly launched an investigation, but many details remain unexplained.
That was in a kennel that was also found deceased.
Deputies then finding Gene near the kitchen area in what they believe is the mudroom, a pair of sunglasses found near his body. Deputies think he also suddenly fell. As deputies cleared the rest of the home, they found two other dogs alive, and all other buildings and the garage were secured.
According to reports, the maintenance worker had last spoken with Hackman and Arakawa about 2 weeks earlier. This raised concerns about how long they had been deceased before being found. When authorities entered the house, they found Hackman's body in the mudroom and Arakawa's body in a bathroom. Both were in an advanced stage of decomposition, suggesting that they had been dead for an extended period. Strangely, one of their dogs, a German Shepherd, was found lifeless in a closet near Arakawa, while the other two dogs were still alive on the property. Authorities searched the home for clues. They found prescription medications scattered near Arakawa's body, including those for high blood pressure and thyroid issues. Officers noted that Hackman appeared to have suddenly collapsed, and Arakawa's passing seemed just as abrupt. Despite the tragic nature of the discovery, investigators found no immediate signs of forced entry or foul play. However, the unexplained circumstances surrounding their deaths only deepen the mystery. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office released a statement on February 27th stating that there was no immediate evidence of criminal activity. Fire department officials inspected the home and ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning, eliminating one potential cause. However, uncertainty loomed regarding what exactly led to their untimely demise.
Seems like that's what the couple had right up until their final moments. Back to you.
Matt, you know, look, Gene Hackman is one of the greatest actors there's just ever been. His films are iconic, and it just led a great life. It's sad to see it happen like this.
Autopsy reports provided little clarity. While no external injuries were found, the condition of the bodies made it difficult to determine a precise cause of death. Natural mummification had already begun, indicating that they had been deceased for some time before being discovered. On February 28th, forensic experts confirmed that carbon monoxide poisoning was not a factor. A critical piece of information came from Hackman's Pacemaker data, which revealed that he likely passed away on February 17th. This revelation left investigators puzzled. What had happened inside the house in the days leading up to their deaths? The tragic news sent shockwaves through Hollywood and Hackman's devoted fan base, but the biggest concerns came from his family. His daughter, Elizabeth Jean Hackman, spoke out about the distressing situation. "We are devastated by the loss of my father and Betsy," she said. "It's hard to understand how something like this could happen." Elizabeth and other family members voiced concerns that something inside the home may have contributed to the deaths. Despite the official ruling, she and some relatives still suspected carbon monoxide poisoning or another unseen factor. "It just doesn't add up," she said. They were both in good health for their age. There has to be more to this. Medical experts weighed in, stating that sudden deaths in older individuals could result from various causes, including undetected illnesses, environmental conditions, or a toxic exposure that had yet to be identified. Yet, investigators remained firm in their assessment. No hazardous substances had been detected in the home. Neighbors and friends also reacted with shock. Gene was a private man, but he was always kind, a neighbor said. They lived quietly, and now this tragedy. It just doesn't make sense. Fans flooded social media with tributes remembering Hackman's unforgettable performances and lasting impact on the film industry. Forensic specialists continue to examine alternative possibilities. Could there have been an issue with the home's ventilation or an undetected gas leak? Some experts noted that a combination of age, health conditions, and external factors could have played a role. But with no conclusive evidence, the case remained shrouded in uncertainty. Despite ongoing speculation, the sheriff's office reiterated that there was no indication of foul play. "We understand the concerns, but there is no evidence suggesting an external cause," a spokesperson said. "Our thoughts are with the family during this difficult time."
Sad breaking news to bring you that two-time Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found dead on Wednesday afternoon in their New Mexico home in the United States. That's according.
Gene Hackman, a two-time Academy Award-winning actor, had chosen to live a peaceful, private life in Santa Fe after retiring from Hollywood. They were devoted to each other, a family friend shared. They were always together. Elizabeth Hackman and other family members continue to seek answers. "We just want to know the truth," she said. "My father was a strong man. If something was wrong, he wouldn't have just given up." For now, the case is officially closed, with natural causes cited as the determination. However, lingering doubts remain. The family struggles to accept the conclusion, feeling that something crucial may have been overlooked. The world remembers Gene Hackman for his legendary career, but his loved ones mourn the man behind the fame. "He was more than an actor," Elizabeth said. "He was a wonderful father and husband. We will miss him every single day." Elizabeth Hackman, one of the children, opened up in an exclusive interview with TMZ about her family's concerns. While the official cause of death is still under investigation, she and her siblings strongly suspect carbon monoxide poisoning. "Something just doesn't feel right," Elizabeth shared. "They were healthy for their age, and we can't shake the feeling that something in the house led to this." Authorities responded to a welfare check requested by concerned neighbors who had not seen the couple for a while. When officers entered the Santa Fe home, they found Hackman, age 95, his wife, and one of their 3 dogs dead. Investigators later determined they had passed away at least a day before being discovered. However, it remains unclear what led the neighbors to call for a check-in. Sheriff Adon Mendoza addressed the public, stating, "At this point, there are no signs of foul play, but we are keeping all possibilities open as the investigation continues."
95-year-old Hackman and his wife, a 63-year-old classical pianist, their German Shepherd dog, all of them tonight mysteriously dead. The police right now are ruling out a carbon monoxide leak.
Elizabeth refrained from revealing private medical details, but acknowledged that her father had been using a cane for mobility in his final public appearance a year ago. Gene Hackman is survived by his 3 children, Elizabeth, Christopher, and Leslie. Though he and Arakawa had been married since 1991, they did not have children together. As the family grieves, they are also handling arrangements for a memorial service, which has not yet been finalized. In a heartfelt statement to Parade magazine, Elizabeth, Leslie, and granddaughter Annie shared their sorrow. "It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our father, Gene Hackman, and his beloved wife, Betsy. He was admired by millions, but to us, he was always just Dad and Grandpa. We will miss him dearly and are devastated by this loss." Hackman's death has left a significant impact not just on his family, but on his countless fans worldwide. The actor, best known for his roles in The French Connection, Unforgiven, and The Royal Tenenbaums, had retired from Hollywood years ago, choosing a peaceful life in Santa Fe. He wanted to live quietly, away from the spotlight a close family friend shared. Gene and Betsy were deeply devoted to each other. They built a life full of love and companionship. Theories surrounding the couple's passing have continued to circulate. Carbon monoxide poisoning remains a strong suspicion for the family, even though officials have not confirmed it. "We just need clarity," Elizabeth said. "If it was something in the home, we deserve to know so it doesn't happen to anyone else." Medical experts have weighed in, explaining that sudden deaths in elderly individuals can be caused by various factors, including undetected medical conditions, environmental hazards, or exposure to toxic substances. In cases like this, we always consider all possibilities, forensic specialist Dr. Rachel Simmons noted. It is important to rule out potential dangers, especially when multiple family members and a pet are affected. Neighbors have expressed their disbelief over the tragedy. "Gene was such a private man, but he was always polite and kind," one neighbor shared. "Seeing their house so quiet, knowing they're gone, it's heartbreaking." Meanwhile, Hollywood has been mourning the loss of one of its greatest actors. Tributes have poured in from actors, directors, and fans alike. Clint Eastwood, who directed Hackman in Unforgiven, said, "Gene was one of the finest actors I ever worked with. His dedication to his craft was unmatched, and he brought something special to every role. He will be missed." Despite the ongoing investigation, the sheriff's office has reassured the public that there is no immediate sign of a crime. "At this point, we have no evidence pointing to foul play," a spokesperson stated. "We understand the concerns and will continue to work to uncover the truth." As the Hackman family copes with their grief, they are determined to find answers. "Our father was strong," Elizabeth said. "If something had been wrong, he would have fought through it. That's why this is so hard to accept." With Gene Hackman's legacy as one of Hollywood's most celebrated actors, his passing has left an undeniable void. Yet for his children, grandchildren, and those closest to him, he was more than just a star. He was a loving father and husband. "He gave us so many memories," Leslie reflected, "and that's what we'll hold on to." As the investigation continues, the family remains hopeful for clarity. "We just want the truth," Elizabeth emphasized. "Nothing will bring them back, but knowing what happened will help us find some peace." Elizabeth Jean Hackman is the daughter of the legendary actor Gene Hackman and his first wife, Faye Maltese. Unlike many celebrity children who embrace public life, she has remained almost entirely private. Gene Hackman married Faye Maltese in 1956, long before he became a Hollywood icon. The couple spent over 3 decades together before divorcing in 1986. Even though their marriage ended, they both played important roles in their children's lives. Faye, known for her strong and supportive nature, was deeply involved in raising their kids. Sadly, she passed away in 2017, leaving behind a family that has always valued privacy over publicity. Despite being the daughter of a Hollywood star, Elizabeth never showed interest in the entertainment industry. She made a few public appearances when she was younger, mostly at events related to her father's career. One such occasion was in 1978, when she attended the premiere of Superman, where Gene played the villain Lex Luthor. Another rare sighting was at the 1996 premiere of The Chamber, a film featuring her father. Other than those brief moments, she has successfully stayed out of the media's reach. A close family friend once said Elizabeth has always been a private person. She never sought attention or tried to use her father's fame to make a name for herself. That was never her personality. This sentiment applies to her siblings as well. Christopher and Leslie have also avoided the public eye, making them some of the least known children of a Hollywood star. Information about Elizabeth's personal life is scarce. Unlike many in today's digital age, there are no verified social media accounts linked to her. Whether she is married or has children remains unclear. She values her privacy more than anything, said a former acquaintance. That's why no one really knows much about her.
But for now, it's the curious circumstances surrounding his death and that of his wife, Betsy Arakawa, that's prompting questions.
It's not normal to find 2 people deceased in a residence. That's concerning. And then there was also a dog that was in a kennel.
Gene Hackman, despite being one of the greatest actors of his time, was known for his reserved nature. He starred in some of the most iconic films in Hollywood history, including The French Connection, Unforgiven, and Hoosiers. His ability to bring complex characters to life earned him 2 Academy Awards and the respect of fans and critics alike. Yet, despite his success, he never enjoyed the constant attention that came with fame. After his divorce from Faye Maltese, Gene found love again with Betsy, a classical pianist. Instead of attending events or making public appearances, he chose to focus on his personal life, writing novels and spending time with Betsy. A friend once commented, Gene walked away from Hollywood without looking back. He was done with that part of his life. Elizabeth's decision to avoid the spotlight mirrors her father's approach to fame. Unlike many celebrity families who thrive on media attention, the Hackmans have always prioritized their personal lives. In an era where many public figures share every detail of their lives on social media, Elizabeth's complete absence is unusual. Most people in her position would have done interviews, written books, or at least spoken about their father's legacy, said a film industry insider. But Elizabeth, she just disappeared from the public eye. Her siblings, Christopher and Leslie, have followed a similar path. They have never pursued careers in entertainment, nor have they made public statements about their father. Even during Gene Hackman's most successful years, they managed to stay out of the headlines. They live normal lives, and they like it that way, said someone familiar with the family. Gene Hackman's legacy in Hollywood is undeniable.
In a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are.
His films continue to be watched and celebrated by movie lovers around the world. However, his children, including Elizabeth, have chosen to live in a completely different way. They have built lives that have nothing to do with their father's stardom. Though much about Elizabeth remains a mystery, one thing is clear. She has always wanted a quiet and private life. A longtime friend once said she doesn't need recognition. She's happy just being out of the public eye. While many children of famous actors follow in their parents' footsteps or use their last name to gain attention, Elizabeth and her siblings have never done so. They have shown that fame is not something everyone wants. Despite being the daughter of one of Hollywood's most respected actors, Elizabeth has stayed true to her own path. Gene Hackman's path to Hollywood success was far from easy. In 1956, after serving in the U.S. Marine Corps, he decided to try acting and enrolled at the Pasadena Playhouse in California. But instead of being welcomed as a future star, he was dismissed as an outsider. His classmates even voted him least likely to succeed. The school gave him the lowest score they had ever recorded, something that would have crushed most people. Instead of giving up, Hackman took it as a challenge. "I didn't come this far just to quit," he later said. He moved to New York City with little money, determined to prove everyone wrong. There he met Dustin Hoffman and Robert Duvall, 2 other struggling actors who would later become Hollywood legends. The 3 friends lived in small apartments, worked odd jobs, and auditioned wherever they could. Hackman's first big break came in 1967 when he landed a supporting role in Bonnie and Clyde, playing Buck Barrow. His performance earned him an Academy Award nomination, and suddenly, people started noticing him. But true stardom didn't come until 1971 when he played Jimmy Popeye Doyle in The French Connection. The film was a massive hit, and Hackman won the Academy Award for Best Actor. In just a few years, he went from being an unknown actor to one of Hollywood's most respected stars. A director once said, Gene Hackman could do anything. He could play a tough cop, a troubled father, a villain, or even a lovable rogue, and he'd always make it look effortless. By the early 2000s, Hackman had done it all. He had won 2 Academy Awards, starred in dozens of hit films, and worked with the best directors in Hollywood. His final film, Welcome to Mooseport, was a lighthearted comedy, a stark contrast to some of his more serious roles. Fans hoped he would return to acting, but in a 2008 interview, Hackman confirmed that he was officially retired. "I had a great run," he said, "but I don't miss it." His decision to step away from Hollywood wasn't just about a personal choice. His doctors had warned him that the stress of acting could take a toll on his health. Though he left the film industry, Hackman didn't stop being creative. He turned to writing and published several novels, proving that his storytelling abilities extended beyond acting. He also lent his voice to narrate 2 Marine Corps documentaries in 2016 and 2017.
Is what you're piecing together, at least initially, until there's more information.
Yes, initially, and again, I thought it was interesting that the sheriff didn't want to say exactly what medications were there. He said they were for thyroid, he said they were for heart. Well, remember, oftentimes you take pain relief
A fellow actor once said, Gene didn't need the spotlight. He was never in this business for fame. He was in it because he loved the craft. Even in retirement, his films continue to be celebrated. Whether it's The French Connection, Unforgiven, Hoosiers, or The Royal Tenenbaums, his performances remain unforgettable. A film critic once said, there are actors, and then there's Gene Hackman. His presence on screen was something special, something you don't see every day.
Tested negative for carbon monoxide. An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th, 2025.
Many celebrities and public figures have come forward to share their thoughts and memories about the legendary star. Prince William and Kate Middleton expressed their sadness upon hearing the news. So sad to hear of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy's passing. Hackman was a true genius of film who brought each character to life with power and authenticity.
The couple was found dead inside the home last Wednesday. The search warrant saying Hackman was in the mudroom, appearing to have suddenly fallen. Arakawa was on the floor of the bathroom. An open orange prescription bottle had pills scattered on the countertop.
Gwyneth Paltrow, who worked with Hackman on The Royal Tenenbaums, shared a heartfelt tribute by posting a photo of them together on set along with a broken heart emoji. Tom Hanks also kept his message short but powerful. He shared an old photo of Hackman on Instagram, writing, "There has never been a Gene Hackman type. There has only been Gene Hackman." Hackman's daughters Elizabeth and Leslie, along with his granddaughter Annie, released a family statement. It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of our father and grandfather, Gene Hackman. He was admired by millions for his acting, but to us, he was simply Dad and Grandpa. We will miss him terribly. Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Conversation, shared his thoughts about losing a longtime friend and collaborator. The loss of a great artist is always bittersweet. We mourn, but we also celebrate their incredible contributions. Gene Hackman was inspiring, magnificent, and a truly complex performer. I will forever cherish our time working together.
That's when we know that the heart muscle itself is no longer responding, which is how you infer that that was the moment of death.
Stuart Ashman was Gene Hackman's friend for almost 30 years.
Viola Davis, known for her powerful performances, paid tribute with a touching message. Loved you in everything. The French Connection, The Conversation, The Poseidon Adventure, Unforgiven, tough yet vulnerable. You were one of the greats. God bless those who loved you. Rest well, sir. Nathan Lane, who worked with Hackman in The Birdcage, spoke highly of the experience. Getting to watch him up close, it was easy to see why he was one of the greatest. He never looked like he was acting. It all felt natural. He was brilliant in both comedy and drama, and his legacy will live on. Sharing the screen with him was one of my greatest memories. Rest in peace, Mr. Hackman. Hank Azaria, another Birdcage co-star, reflected on what he learned from Hackman. It was an honor and an education working with him. Mike Nichols once said Gene always brought just enough of a different part of himself to each role. That's what made him special. Sending my love to his family and friends.
I desperately wanted to be an actor from the time I was 10 years old, but I was so shy and so intimidated by the process.
What was the thing you wanted in acting?
I suppose to be transported to somehow or another to...
Hackman's career spanned decades, and he played unforgettable roles in films like Bonnie and Clyde, The French Connection, Superman, Mississippi Burning, and Unforgiven. He had a talent for making every character feel real, whether he was playing a hero, a villain, or something in between. Antonio Banderas also shared his sorrow, calling Hackman a legend of cinema. He continued, his performances always had something unique. He could be fierce, he could be gentle, but he was always captivating. A great loss. George Takei, known for Star Trek, took to social media to remember Hackman. We have lost one of the finest actors of our time. His presence on screen was unmatched, and his work will continue to inspire generations. Director Edgar Wright also paid tribute. If you ever want to study perfect acting, just watch Gene Hackman in The French Connection or Unforgiven. He was simply the best. Hackman's ability to disappear into his roles is one of the things that made him special. He never played the same character twice. Each performance felt new and fresh. Directors, co-stars, and fans alike admired this quality, and it's one of the reasons why his legacy will never fade. Filmmaker Steven Spielberg, who worked with Hackman on Enemy of the State, described him as one of the most instinctive actors I've ever worked with. He had an ability to make every line feel completely natural.
New details tonight in the death investigation of 95-year-old actor Gene Hackman and his wife, 65-year-old Betsy Arakawa.
An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event.
Actor Robert De Niro also spoke about Hackman's talent. Gene Hackman had a rare gift. He could make any role unforgettable. He had a presence that few actors have. I feel lucky to have shared the screen with him. Even actors from a younger generation who grew up watching Hackman's films took time to honor him. Ryan Reynolds tweeted, "Gene Hackman was the definition of a legend. He made every film he was in better, an inspiration to so many." Meryl Streep, who had worked with many Hollywood greats, shared her thoughts. "He was fearless in his choices, but also deeply human. That's what made him so powerful on screen. He will be greatly missed." Throughout his career, Hackman won 2 Academy Awards, 4 Golden Globes, and multiple other honors. But despite his fame, he was known for being humble and private. He retired from acting in 2004, choosing to live a quiet life away from Hollywood. Even in retirement, his films continue to inspire new generations of actors and filmmakers. Director Wes Anderson, who cast Hackman in The Royal Tenenbaums, recalled how much he enjoyed working with him. Gene had this incredible ability to make every scene feel spontaneous. He was one of the best actors I've ever had the privilege to work with. Kevin Costner, who co-starred with Hackman in No Way Out, also spoke about the impact Hackman had on his career. "He was someone I always looked up to. Working with him was like attending a master class in acting." Pedro Pascal, known for his roles in The Last of Us and The Mandalorian, took a moment to honor Gene Hackman on social media. Posting an old picture of the legendary actor on his Instagram story, he simply wrote, "My actual favorite." His short yet heartfelt message reflected the admiration many in Hollywood had for Hackman. Michael Rosenbaum, best known for playing Lex Luthor in Smallville, paid tribute to the man who brought the same character to life in the Superman films. "To my favorite Lex Luthor and one of the all-time greatest actors ever, R.I.P., he wrote on Instagram. Fans of both actors appreciated the connection and shared their own tributes in the comments. Antonio Banderas, a celebrated actor famous for The Mask of Zorro and Desperado, expressed his sorrow on X, formerly known as Twitter. "A very sad day for the cinema's family. Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa have passed away. My deepest condolences to friends, family, and cinema lovers." His words resonated with many who recognized Hackman's influence on the film industry. John Sim, known for his roles in Doctor Who and Collateral, shared his deep admiration for Hackman in a touching Instagram post. "Sad news today. You'd be hard-pressed to name a better screen actor than this man, because there isn't one. Perfection in every single role he played, a huge inspiration for me and for generations of actors. And he could do it all. He made the craft look effortless. A true artist." George Takei, famous for his role in Star Trek, also took to X to share his thoughts. "Gene Hackman could play anyone and you could feel a whole life behind it," he wrote. "He could be everyone and no one, a towering presence or an everyday Joe. That's how powerful an actor he was. He will be missed, but his work will live on forever." Takei's tribute captured the essence of what made Hackman such an extraordinary actor. Filmmaker Edgar Wright, who directed Baby Driver and Last Night in Soho, kept his tribute short but meaningful. "The greatest," he wrote on X, leaving no doubt about the immense respect he had for Hackman's contributions to cinema. Cary Elwes, widely recognized for his role in The Princess Bride, shared a longer tribute on Instagram. "We have lost a true legend. The magnificent Gene Hackman has passed away, a man whose breadth of talent was immeasurable. Growing up on his movies was an absolute thrill for me." He continued by highlighting Hackman's ability to bring depth to every character he played. "To observe his remarkable facility and humanity in every role was something to behold. Whatever film he was in, he made it better. A force of nature like no other, and as such, there will never be another like him. Our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and fans all over the world. Rest in absolute power, Gene." So what are your views on this? Do let us know in the comment section below. And for more such amazing videos, please do subscribe to our channel.